And you're really into that box, aren't you there? All right, buddy, you keep digging there. When did you guys get here? Oh, well, you snuck up behind me, didn't you? Well, we're here in the mansion attic where we do Darkest Radio, and we're up here tonight because, well, it's raining. It is pouring cats and dogs, literally, out here in Shadowbrook. So we can't go out and cause mayhem and debauchery, so we figured we'd come up here and dig through some of this attic clutter. There's all kinds of stuff. Oh! Scully, I've been wondering where you went. Where have you been? Well, now I feel complete. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So yeah, that's what... Oh, I wonder what's behind here. Whoa! Oh! How long have you guys been up here?
Ages. I thought this was my final resting place.
Oh, well, boils and ghouls. Quite a trick or treat for you. Peeling Gray, everybody. Peeling Gray. I've been wondering why you haven't been out and about lately.
We haven't played in months, so this is where we've been.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I would have known. I would have brought you water or fish heads.
Yeah, well, we've been surviving. Yeah, the wood floor tastes pretty good.
Oh, well, you're getting your fiber.
Yeah,
you're getting
absolutely.
your fiber, so that's great. Well, since we're getting ready to start Darkest Radio here in about an hour, would you guys like to co-ghost with me since you're already up here?
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
Wonderful,
It
wonderful.
may require us to transition back into the living,
I don't know, but for Jack, sure.
All right.
I think
All
I'm
right.
just gonna skip out.
All right, well, these two will join me. Andy is happy here, and we're happy to have him here in the attic. There's all kinds of
He can
creepy
sing from
crawlies.
here.
He can. I'll just slide the microphone under the Halloween blanket. Well, let's do another Darkest Radio, Darkest Hours crossover episode, shall we? Turn off your lights. Light your candles. Fire up your fog machine and fluff up those coffin pillows. It's time for the Darkest Hours, Peeling Gray in the Attic edition. I'm not sure what that was. What did we hear?
That was Nightmare the Elf with Primal Emotions off the Graveyard Dance Party CD that came out in 2005.
And that's actually a bit of Peeling Gray history. All of us were in that band.
That's actually how the three of us originally met. Well, Andy and I knew each other before that, but that's how we met James.
Right.
Well, that was my first time hearing it, and I loved it. Absolutely. We're going to have to play more on Darkest Radio. Of course, with your poor
You will get a
permission.
CD from me, absolutely.
You hear that, more of that terrible music coming your way. Yes, indeed. So, what I wanted to get into a little bit now is inspirations, influences. What has helped you modify or create the sound that is now Peeling Gray?
Somebody else is gonna go before me because I think mine are just too obvious. And I want to sound a little bit more interesting.
But the number one influence over the band is Andy Smith, so why doesn't Andy Smith go first?
I like it. You're on the torture board now.
Obviously, The Cure is a huge influence. The Clash is definitely another one. All the heavy hitters from back then, basically, Echo and the Bunnymen. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that every single influence is obscure or anything like that. There's a reason why those bands were big, and there's a reason why those bands continue to inspire people today. Right? David Bowie.
Absolutely.
Just because with Bowie, he was able to segue into so many different genres and styles and different approaches to songwriting, and personally, and especially at this point in the band, very inspired by that because I think it's been, we're evolving as a band right now. So I do look to towards artists like David Bowie and Cure, just for that kind of thing.
For me, as you know, the band's producer in particular, as far as the sound of the band goes, my main influences are also bands that were popular. Interpol comes to mind.
Nice.
Interpol was a huge influence on me this entire decade. And as far as my work in Peeling Gray goes, production-wise. They were definitely somebody who I aspired to. There's some local bands that I feel have influenced my production style as well. Fangs on Fur is a band that's their stuff is produced so well. I listen to their CD a lot. Also, the Psychedelic Furs is a band that I grew up with that I loved in the 80s. Loved them, or as you would say, loathed them to death. And because their sound was so elegant, yet it was sad as well. And so those are two elements that I always look for in music. And also a band that isn't talked about as much as they should be, but is a huge influence on me personally, is The Church.
Yes.
Most people know about them through their one song, Under a Milky Way, but they had like 10,000 other songs that were better.
One thing that I really enjoy about your guys' sound is that you can tell your influences in the music, there's no doubt about that, but it's not like a blatant rip-off of it or anything. You've taken those influences and you've molded that into your own sound,
Right.
which I don't think you can ask for a better recipe than that.
Awesome, thank you.
So, and Naren, how about you? Influence-wise,
I'm an 80s kid, so, any of the good old 80s bands, I'm not quite the Cure fan that Andy is. I was actually more of a...
Well, yeah, nobody is.
Well, the hair stands alone, sir. The hair stands alone. I was much more of a Susie fan, and but I was also classically trained on the piano as a kid, and so a lot of my and I did have a little bit of music theory thrown at me, and so I used some of the classical stuff as well as my 80s influence and stuff to theory to throw in the songs. So a lot of what I do is half inspiration and half theory when I can't figure out what to do.
it's a wonderful recipe for this horrible stew that we call peeling gray.
Well, thank you guys so much for dropping in, and well, I guess you were here.
Yeah. Thanks for
Alrighty.
the free rent for the last 4 months.
Oh, you're welcome at the mansion anytime. Your music is fantastic, terrorific, and I love it. I love it to pieces.
Thank you.
And thank you for honoring us by playing. That was incredible.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes,
No, all right.
we quite enjoyed it.
The first time performing undead acoustic, huh?
That's correct. That is, yeah. It was. Hopefully, it was as horrible as normal.
It was even more horrible. I think. I loved it. Well, I don't know if you guys want to go out or if you want to stay here. It's up to
I
you.
guess it's time to face the world again. Huh?
No, we still have a few days before bats. I think we
Okay.
should just stay here in the meantime.
Yeah. Is the rent still free?
Absolutely.
Okay, then we're gonna
Absolutely.
go ahead and get back under this.
All right, well,
If you
you
don't mind.
ghouls go right back in there, and I want to thank each and every one of you boils and ghouls out there for tuning in. And until next slime kitties, sweet nightmares.